started right up. Here's the real saving grace of this thing. First of all, power seats. It actually works. The power seats work. What? And oh, that feels. It feels good, man. The Peugeot transmission. Oh, this is. Do the reverse lights come on?
Yeah.
Wow, the reverse lights work. What? Overhead console. 18.2 mpg. This was last reset 5,400 miles ago. Speaking of miles. Hey, buddy. Where's your good dog? Here she is. Oh. It's a good Jeep. I love that. This is already turning out to be quite the adventure.
How does this happen? Two pictures right across the street from each other.
Yeah, what?
And a Jiffy Lube.
That's a good point. Are they in competition with each other? I don't know. Alright. See that big hill in the distance? That's a really steep hill. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna leave it in 5th gear. Now we're gonna see if this baby's got the torque to climb that bluff in overdrive. Here we go. Oh, easy. Just, I got the gas like halfway down. It's like not even trying. We're catching up to this Chevy guy here. Nice V8 you got there, bud. Damn. On 307 gears with big tires. Easy all the way up that hill. 5th gear. That's crazy, dude. So here we are, Operation Lettuce. This is a 1997 Jeep Cherokee Sport. It's equipped with the old 4.0 and a 5-speed manual transmission. This thing is pretty well optioned for a base model Cherokee. It's got pretty much everything you could possibly want and or need along with a manual. So it was a custom built vehicle, I'm pretty sure. The back doors don't open, no matter how hard you try. They've been stuck for so long they've rusted shut. And the window is shattered because the guy who had it before me used pliers to open and close the windows when the motor died. And one day he grabbed it with pliers and it just shattered the window. So that's pretty cool. Also, this happened. It's got anti-lock brakes that don't work. What else? There's a couple things I want to take out of here. So firstly, this thing has 316,000 miles on it, and oil pressure on the highway was at like 10 psi. It was 0 at idle. It was literally 0 oil pressure at idle. But it runs just fine. It ran just fine. I drove it for over an hour to get here, just like that, and had no problems. These engines literally are indestructible. We can see it's got the good old-fashioned floor pan rust, and the frame rail is pretty much non-existent, but that's not a problem. It is on a 1.5-inch lift, and it's got some pretty meaty tires on it. And also, he put a CB radio in it, which is what that thing is on the overhead console. So, I mean, nothing really too special other than it's a 4-wheel drive 5-speed, which I'm really stoked about. No parking brakes, so I can't take it out of gear. I do have a spreadsheet of things I'm going to take out of here, just from what I can remember off the top of my head. Obviously, the transmission, the drive shafts, the transfer case, all that stuff. Also the clutch pedal. It does have a Banks exhaust header on it. That makes a huge difference. I love that. Definitely going to take that off. Now, unfortunately, I can't use it on mine because the cylinder had changed in 2000. So I'll probably just sell that. Definitely want to get an exhaust header for mine someday. I'm also going to take the charcoal canister out of here so I can relocate that on mine. On 98 and newer XJs, the charcoal canister is under the car, mounted near the gas tank. But on 97s, it's right here in the engine bay. I'm going to take the coolant bottle out of here. I'm going to put this in the Comanche to convert it to an open loop cooling system. This hose is also pretty nice. I like this being extended like that, because then you can move it out of the way to get the battery out of here instead of it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. The ECU for a manual, this thing has got to be pretty valuable right here. Unfortunately, it's not going to work in mine because California emissions and coil rail ignition system. So probably sell that. It's got some really nice LED headlights, which I'm kind of split about, because in the winter these don't get hot enough to melt ice off of them like halogens do. So I don't know, I'm still thinking about that. But I'm also going to take the front bumper off of it because mine is dented from a mailbox. Also, it has an adjustable track bar with this meaty ass mount right here. The track bar is supposedly adjustable for no lift, which I don't know, I might use that. I think that's a good idea. Other than that, there's just a few here's and there's. Oh, look at that. I wonder what that's supposed to go to. Oh, nothing important, obviously. I'm also going to take the overhead console out of it and sell that probably. But there's your donor vehicle.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Look, you can press my clutch. It's 4 high.
All right.
I'm trying to put it in the first. Is it working?
No dashboard light, as usual.
Juice, man. Wait, how fast can I go?
In first, about this fast.
Can I shift in 4-wheel drive?
Yes.
Yeah. Go, Jacob. Hell yeah, bitch.
I don't know. It doesn't really feel like part-time works.
Yeah.
I'd have to drive it to tell. We lost something. Switching things up, I see.
Sorry, go gas again. I'm on the receiving end of the...
Yeah, right. I don't know if I'd do that.
What's that? The plastic broke.
What broke?
Clutch.
You broke the clutch?
No.
Okay.
Watch as the pro does his thing.
It was not
Engaging.
There's nothing.
Catching.
Yeah, I don't think that works. It's probably just the linkage, but... Oh, it works.
Oh, it works.
Now we're probably stuck in part-time.
Holy shit.
It's a wild ride back there. That'll happen. I just dropped it. Like I just dead ass just dropped the clutch in her. Reverse is steeper than first, so you can do that. Oh, a little bit of an uphill. Check engine. Oh no. Oh, it's gone now. Okay, we're fine. What's that noise? Oh, we're almost out of gas. Wait, what? No, we're not. What? We still got a quarter tank of light on. Oh well. Well. Probably fine. Probably fine. I don't know.
There was a noise, and now there's a smell.
And the little gas light is on.
That's a good sign. Did we put a hole in the fuel tank?
Maybe. See any gas following us? Oh, fuel light's off now. We're fine. That's good.
Self-healing.
Yeah. Everything is normal. Oh yeah, oil pressure is 0 again.
Oh no. We shook all the oil out.
We don't need second or fourth. That's great. Watch this.
I'll throw it in reverse.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I realized I got this far into the video before I actually told you guys what was going on with this thing. So, we're gonna part this bad boy out because it is beyond saving. I mean, yeah, I could rebuild it, but there's no floors. The frame is all not existing. It's been through a lot. So, I mean, there are multiple reasons we're not saving this one, because otherwise I'd be down to restore it. Oh, yeah, that's not good. That's no good. That's not. It's worse than the Comanche was. So we're gonna part it out. These are all the things I want off of it. So right now, Cam is removing the stuff to get the headliner out, because we figure, you know, if it's gonna be scrapped anyway, we may as well have some fun with it and cut off the roof, which is a terrible idea on a unibody vehicle, and nobody should do this unless, you know, you plan on dying. But the roof is all dented anyway, because I imagine some certain individuals were performing some NSFW activities up there. But that's where we're at with Lettuce Jeep. Making progress? Okay. Stick it there. Oh, yeah, okay, cool. Door handle for sale. Ah, that's done it. Well, hold on. Before you just shove the crowbar in there, what can we see in? I don't know if that really helps.
Oh fuck.
So yeah, basically we're just trying to get the door open so we can get it off. Both of the back doors are stuck shut. Now I could do some research and like find out if there's an easy fix to get these off, but I don't know. Figure some pry bars and a hammer ought to do the trick at some point. We might have to bust out the grinding wheel. Turns out this damn thing was stuck by the child safety lock. So that's probably why that only ever happens to the back doors. Oh, wow, that one wasn't even connected. Let's see what we got in here. See this shock over here when he does that. The bushing moves more than the shock. Oh yeah, high quality parts. I go to take the drive shaft out and it starts moving the whole car. It's in gear right now too, so that's why I had to block off the wheel. Are we gonna light it on fire? Like, what are we, or is he just like gonna suffocate?
Oh no, yeah, that's it. Give him about 5 minutes and he should be done for.
Okay.
I don't think you need to blow him up.
Oh.
He's probably not in there anyway. He's probably
Yeah.
somewhere.
He escaped long ago. When we weren't watching, he ran away. Damn. Okay, so yeah, for context, YouTube, there's a brown recluse spider in this door, and it totally almost killed all of us. So yeah, that was pretty frightening.
What would you spray it with?
That's starting fluid. No. It's been running so long, the back lights are starting to burn out. So here's these LED headlights. They're pretty alright. When you turn on the brights and turn them back off, it doesn't turn them off. Now that's probably just a minor wiring issue. All you gotta do to reset that is shut them off and turn them back on again, and then you can use your brights, but then of course it doesn't shut off. So that's why I don't want to take these LED headlights, because I don't know what the problem is there. I don't know if that's a design flaw or just a wiring issue, but I don't want to deal with it. I found out driving with only the footwell lights on is actually pretty cool. I mean, the camera doesn't do anything justice ever, but without the overhead lights and having those on, it is a pretty unique experience. So we've taken enough things off of this now to the point where it literally feels like it's falling apart as you drive it. I just needed to take it around the block a little bit, prevent the battery from dying. Something is draining the battery as it sits. Who knows what the hell that is, but I don't got time to figure it out. I'm having too much fun in this thing. The upshift indicator, for what it is, it's actually a really impressive thing. Like, it gives you a lot more feedback than you'd think. So here I'm cruising in second gear. Obviously I'm going too fast for second gear. It's telling me to upshift. If I decelerate and start slowing down, it turns off. But when I'm just cruising in second gear, it's like, hey, you should probably upshift. So we go to third gear, and the same thing happens in third. Now, the upshift light doesn't really come on in fourth gear all that often, because it knows fourth gear is like a cruising speed. So, you know, if the speed limit's 45, there's no reason to be in fifth gear. You know, you can, fourth gear is plenty fine for that. Yeah, here we're just cruising in fourth at 45. I could go into fifth gear, but it's smart enough to know that I don't need to be. And I think for a little arrow light that just tells you when to shift, it's really, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's really intuitive. It tells you a lot more than just when to shift. I think that's awesome. See, another cool thing is, even with a less forgiving 307 gear ratio, this thing is way more powerful than the automatic. It's wild. I have no words. Now, I don't have a front drive shaft in it currently, but we'll see if I can get 4 low to work here. Oh yeah, it works. Now, 4 low is insanely powerful. If I just give it a, Jesus Christ. Oh my God, it's like, this thing will pull a mountain down, dude. It's crazy how how torquey that is. I cannot wait to use a manual with 355 gears. You know, I've never really driven a modified re-geared Jeep, but this is wild. Instinctive habit. Oh, where's the door handle? It's right here. Still works. Okay, one open, right? Trick works every time. Boom. Brand new Jeep for sale, 10,000 bucks, hardly any miles. Found out that loose connector we saw earlier plugs into the AC compressor, or at least it should, but it doesn't. But I don't know, that's missing a connector, it won't go on there. That's probably why it was just hanging down there. In order of business, I need the tunnel plate adapter off of this thing. Now, getting these bolts off of here is proving to be a bit difficult. I've gotten all but this one. Now, if you remember my 242 transfer case swap video, this particular bolt also put up a hell of a fight there too. So I'm not about to give this one any more patience than I did the previous one. You don't know who you're up against. There is a whole bunch of little bolts around here. They're all 8mm, supposedly, but I've been using a 5/16 socket on them because I find it grabs onto them a little bit better and doesn't strip them off as easily. So that's just a little tip if you find yourself removing the transmission tunnel cover adapter from a 1997 to 2001 Jeep Cherokee. So, an interesting fact, the manual transmission uses a different four-wheel drive shift linkage than the automatic. The only real difference is this plate mount bracket thing has the hole back here on manuals and up here in the middle for automatics. So, you're going to need a different one of these, and that's, of course, the singular hardest piece of the whole thing to replace. Which is why I highly recommend everybody to just get an ASSI linkage, because it's better in literally every single conceivable way. So, you can even see this four-wheel drive linkage is zip-tied on here for whatever reason. Don't know what the story is behind that. But I've come under here because I need to get at that bolt that's holding the shift gate on. And it's way up there under, you know, behind all of this crazy stuff. And there's no way I'm going to be able to reach it and like get a vice grips on that, on the back side of said bolt, because it's way back up and like you can't even see it with the camera. It's so tucked in there. So I'm going to have to wait until I remove the entire transmission to get that out. So that kind of delays our plans a little bit. If you ever wondered what your airbox should not look like, try this. The filter is not really that dirty, but it is very decayed. It's kind of falling apart. Who knows how old it is, but there's probably living things in there. Oh yeah, gotta love Wisconsin. Starts frickin' downpouring. You can't roll up the windows when the master switch isn't plugged in, but oh well, there's no floors anyway. So find all your gears first. It feels way better than the Peugeot, doesn't it? Already, even just sitting here, you know?
Yeah, it feels so much better.
Alright. All right, no gas, just release the clutch. Okay, now drop it. Easy, see?
Yeah.
Dang! This is smooth!
Oh, can you?
Yeah. Well, Jay, any final thoughts?
This is much easier to drive than the Comanche, although much less safe.
What? Safe? What are you talking about?
I mean,
we're fine.
I don't know. I mean, safety is like number 4 priority.
Yeah.
It's fun. I think you're gonna have a lot of fun when this project is done. Oh, there goes the power steering.
Yep. Let's see what. Oh yeah, that's literally steaming off of there.
Yep.
I need to melt some of these bolts loose, so we're just gonna go ahead and spray a little bit of this down. Probably not a good idea to get it on the belt, but so I took off the clutch fan because I want to keep it because it's in really good shape, and the engine behaves quite differently without all the resistance from the fan. Yeah, we also took off the front bumper. It looks pretty cool, kind of like a rock crawler now. All right, Jay, go ahead and start it up.
Shall we just give her a start? It's up to like 2,000.
Yeah, it doesn't know what. I want to know why the check engine light's on. I bet that'll make it way easier to start now. With it idling at 1100. Hi, we interrupt this program to bring you a realization by future WAEMID. So, we're cruising around without a fan on right now, obviously, but it's not because we don't have a fan that the engine won't idle right. It's because we took out the Evap system, and so all these fittings have a huge vacuum leak. That didn't really click in my head at the time, so I thought it was just by removing the fan that this happened, but as I was laying in bed that night, I was thinking about it, and it was just like, wait a minute. We removed the Evap system. And yeah, so this fitting right here, and this one as well, I think, these were sucking in air as if the throttle was open. That's why it wasn't revving, or that's why it was revving high, not because we removed the fan. So I don't know how much of a difference that actually does make. Code found 1. Read codes. Oh.
Evap system. Oh, of course. Of course. Yeah. PO443.
Purge, yeah. We took off the purge valve and, you know, the entire Evap system. So, yeah. Surprisingly, we only got 1 error for that.
Right?
Oh, we've taken a lot of things off of this before the check engine light came on. That's funny.
30 miles an hour. No gas.
Jesus.
This car is self-driving.
Yes, 1997, like you said. Self-driving.
It's a Tesla 20 years before Tesla was even a thing.
I would just give it a bit of gas. Just help it a little bit. It'll go right up that hill. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I'll have to see if that's feasible. Okay, yeah, slow her down. Slow her down.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good thing we didn't go very far with it. That's what an overheating Cherokee looks like. The temperature gauge was reading like just a little bit above normal, so.
Oh yeah.
So I bet the sender is bad. That's probably what it is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna touch that radiator.
A little bit more, and it probably would have blown off, man.
Probably. Good thing we stopped when we did.
Yeah.
It idling at 1500 minimum probably did not help.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So lesson learned: don't drive the Jeep without fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like whatsoever. Even if you keep moving, it's not. Maybe I don't know, but
Maybe at highway speed.
Yeah.
Probably would have been fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely not just around back roads at 25 miles an hour.
All right, I'm gonna take her on one final joyride before we render it to an undrivable state and shut the engine off for the last time. Oh, well, those work. it doesn't engine brake anymore. It wants to keep going, you know. It refuses to die. When people say these XJs refuse to die, this is what they mean. It will not quit. Alright, calm down, calm down. 316,032 miles. To kill an XJ. This is a hard thing to do. I damn near broke out into tears, man. I'm not even attached to this thing, and oh man, it hurts me. It hurts me to rip all these pieces off of it. It will not die. It will not quit. It will not give up. No matter how many things you take off of it, no matter what you throw at it. It's been across the country. It's been in every biome. I'm pretty sure it's been to all 48 of the continental states. That's more than I can say. This Jeep has traveled farther than I have in my life. This Jeep has been more places than I have in my life. It is older than I have. It has lived longer than I have. And there's just, nobody makes cars like this anymore. So it really hurts the soul to end one like this. It didn't do anything wrong. It did its job exceptionally well, in fact. But the end result is the same. All things must come to an end. And if I'm having this much trouble letting go of this thing, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to sell my other one. I can't. I'm never going to be able to let that thing go. I'm going to die driving that thing. That thing's going to die being driven by me. So, I had to pull the plug. I had to shut it down because, you know, this thing it was too much fun. I was getting attached to it. I was having too much fun. It was coming to a point where it was like, okay, but does it really need that much work? Yeah, it does, but like, does it really? Like, we could keep it, right? So I took out the battery and I unplugged the ECU, and that's it. That's done. I tried to take as many things off of it as I could so I wouldn't put it back together and go drive it around the block again. So I salute you, XJ, for everything you've done. I know I wasn't there for any of your adventures, but a lot of other people were. Oh, day 6. Got a whole bunch more engine components torn off, like the throttle body and yeah, that's pretty much it. It's got performance brakes on here, but they are unfortunately pretty rusty, so I don't think they're going to be worth taking off. But that's interesting. Never seen these before in person, so that's cool. The transmission jack from Harbor Freight doesn't fit between the exhaust downpipe and the transmission mount adapter, so I've got it held up by a regular jack right now. I took out the Crossmember, as you can see. I actually didn't break any of these bolts. I was pretty surprised by that. They probably haven't been touched since, I don't know, 2005. But I've got this held up here, and this is kind of out of the way-ish, so I can get these bolts out, because I gotta take this mount adapter off. Now let me tell you, I'm glad I started doing this right now, because these bolts have the toughest thread locker I've ever seen on them. They are in there. They're not in there very tight, but they put up a fight the whole way out. I don't know what kind of thread locker that is. I don't know if that's factory, but it's good. So, important thing to note about the adapter bracket, it's probably a good idea to get the transmission mount disconnected from it before you take it off of the transmission. Once again, luckily I thought of that before I got it off. Also, here's our slave cylinder. This thing goes in and out. That's how it engages and disengages the clutch. What I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to do is that. So I don't know how this thing didn't explode or whatever, but I don't know. It refuses to die. So there's one bolt kind of where the dipstick tube would be on an automatic over on this side that I need to take out. But there's also one on this side under the intake manifold. So I started getting all the wires and everything out of the way to get ready to remove the intake manifold. And I noticed these are probably 12-hole injectors from, I believe it is K Suspension that makes these. Well, at least most of them are. I guess he decided that he needed new injectors except for in cylinder 6 for whatever reason, so that's kind of funny. The intake valves are very caked with oil. All of them are like that. So you can see that in the manifold too. It does not look pretty in there. But, you know, this could be cleaned up. Nothing else wrong with it. All sorts of distractions. So I should mention, of course, you don't need to remove the intake manifold to get the transmission out. I was just after what I thought was an exhaust header, but this is a stock exhaust manifold. I guess what the guy meant by a Banks exhaust was that it was just the catalytic converter and the muffler. And I think he's got 2.5-inch pipe as well. But even just that makes a huge difference. So I'm not gonna take off this manifold, obviously. It's just a stock thing. It's probably cracked in a couple places and whatnot, you know, the usual. So I was after this bolt right here. This is a pain in the ass bolt. It's easier to get to from the underside, but without the intake here, you can clearly see it. Oh, there's your crankshaft sensor. Another thing I noticed while I was in here was this engine heater. So this is actually on the build sheet for the thing. It was a $60 factory option, and the wires have been like eaten or cut or something. So I didn't even know it had one until I saw the build sheet. And interestingly, it's in the same spot from the factory as where I put mine on my Jeep, so that's pretty cool. With a lot of arguing, I managed to get the tunnel plate adapter off of here. And now I know there's an easy way to get the shift lever off of here. You just press down on that ring there, but man, that hasn't been touched in such a long time. It's not going to work. So I'm taking out the 4 bolts that hold the whole thing on there, and I'm just going to take that off. Here's our shift lever. The only thing you got to be careful of when taking this out is make sure it's in neutral. I accidentally bumped it into 3rd gear or something and it wouldn't come out of there, so it's kind of hard to shift this when this is not connected to the transmission, because this is your pivot point. So that would have been a pain in the ass, but luckily I was able to get it out. May as well be my favorite thing to say at this point. In all my tutorial videos, I often mention being able to do things without removing the exhaust. But if you have an aftermarket exhaust, that's a different story. So he had, you can see the adapter piece right here. This is 2¼ inch, this is 2.5 inch pipe. Because it's thicker pipe, I couldn't fit the bell housing out between the floor and the exhaust pipe. It physically would not fit. So I just cut that with a Sawzall to get the transmission out, and then yeah, because those bolts, I mean, I could have easily just unbolted this, but I don't have the patience to deal with those bolts right now. So yeah, here's your transmission. Now, manuals are so much lighter than automatics. I was not expecting there to be this much of a difference. This is kind of where I put the transmission jack on the automatic. It was balanced that way, but it's almost like the transfer case weighs more than the transmission. As you can see, it's nowhere near on the middle of the jack right now, but the important thing is it's fully disconnected now. All I gotta do is get it out from under here. Here it is, the legendary AX15. So yeah, this thing is in need for a rebuild, to say the least. Well, first of all, I'm pretty sure I did that, trying to take it out. But CPS is no good anymore. Input shaft bearing, or input shaft play. Yeah, there's a little bit of movement there. The throw-out bearing is good, but the shift fork moves up and down. Other than a little bit of play in some of these things, it seems pretty alright. As for the whole clutch disc and flywheel, I can't say I know how to take this off, but I'm gonna take a wild guess and say I need to remove these 6 bolts, and I'll see what happens from there. I had to have my father hold the crank still while I loosen those, but they're all out now. The flywheel is in really good shape. There's hardly any ridge at all here. Regardless, I am just going to get a new flywheel just cause. So I need to remove these 6 bolts, and if you're probably wondering why I'm taking off a flywheel I'm not going to use, it's because we're after this inspection plate cover thing. I'm going to need this, so I need to get that off. Now the guy did claim it was the original clutch. There's no way this is original for 315,000 miles. I wouldn't think so. I don't think clutches can last that long. This is still in really good shape, but a dead giveaway it's not factory is that company logo for Luck. Luck is not a factory brand, I don't think. So this has definitely been replaced before. Still in really good shape though. I'm probably giving myself skin cancer by touching this. Anyway, here's the pressure plate. Also in really good shape. Dang, that's actually kind of heavy. But all of this stuff, I'm going to get new stuff anyway, just because it's all already out when I manual swap mine. That's just what it looked like. I mostly wanted to take this stuff apart so that I could see how it goes together, because I've never done this before. So as for this whole mess over here, I put the gear lever back on just because there's this big gaping hole on here without it, and you know, to keep track of things. So that's back on there. I took off the 4-wheel drive linkage because I hate the stock linkage. Just get rid of it, seriously. Like, I'm sure you've all heard people say the ASI linkage is where it's at. They're not lying. I was skeptical myself, but the stock linkage is garbage. It's incomparably, look at this. This is way over engineered for what it does. It's way too complicated. There's no reason you need all these crossbars and everything in here. So I already have an ASI linkage for the XJ, so I don't need to buy another one. I'm gonna have this transmission rebuilt before I put it in my XJ, because, you know, may as well. So I'm gonna take off the transfer case. There are 6 9/16 bolts. The problem with these is some of the studs are coming out with them. I don't think that's supposed to happen, but I don't know. At least I can get them out, I guess. It's not the end of the world. Right. Dowel pin, come on. I don't want to bend this. I don't know how rare it is. There we go. Okay. Here we are, the back of the 4.0. So here's your pilot bearing. I don't know. I don't think I need to take this out. So there's everything back here done, I believe. Yeah, right? Huh. So that's all the work you gotta do to replace that freeze plug. That sucks. My heart goes out to anybody who has to do that. I think I might have to do that, actually. On my checklist sheet here, I have mentioned the manual wiring harness. I don't think you actually need that. Alright, final project. The clutch pedal. So, I've heard this is a lot easier to take out if you take off this little knee bolstered covered thing right here. We can see, kind of, yeah, you can see 1, 2 of the bolts back there. That's a lot easier than reaching way up in there from down here. So I've got, I believe they are 14 millimeters. I got a 14 deep socket on a stack of extensions, and now I think that's all there is to it. We just gotta unbolt this in a couple places. So I've got 2 off. There's one more to the left, and there's one way up there, I think. I'm gonna have to somehow detach that linkage that looks all worn out. I think that just pries off with a screwdriver. And let's see about the brake here. Gotta disconnect the brake pedal somehow as well. The clutch pedal linkage is so worn out, it just slid right off of there. So that's the clutch pedal free. That's probably what Cam meant earlier in the video when he felt the clutch pedal break. It's that plastic. Shit, where's my... Okay, hold on a minute. Oh. Okay. Ow. Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay, so here's what we got here. You gotta bend this little tab, you gotta bend that up, and then you can just slide this off. Oh, what are they talking about? That's not hard at all. It's the easiest thing I've done all day, in fact. I believe that is the last one. Okay. What's the situation here? Is there another? Oh my god, there's 2 more of them over there. Okay. I did not even, oh my, how am I gonna get those? So this is the setup I got. Just a deep socket on a ratchet. That's how I'm getting that out. Oh shit, I forgot my flashlight. So to get that one off, I used this combo, just a single long extension with a U-joint thing and a deep socket. Still don't have the top one off, but it is loose. I should be able to get it by hand. And I started wondering, is there another one? Yeah, I see you. There's another one in there. That's the other one for the master cylinder. Okay, I see. Jeez, there's a lot of bolts that hold this thing on. For the bottom clutch master cylinder bolt, or nut I should say, I had to use deep socket, U-joint, long extension, medium extension. Okay. I think it's ready now. Right? Is it ready now? Come on, please. Okay. What's going on over here? Can I take these out yet? Or is everything just seized? Oh, that doesn't feel very seized. Seem to want to move though. That's probably just stuck. Probably just rusted on there. Oh. Oh. Okay. Did that do anything? Oh, of course not. come on. Oh, I see he bypassed the clutch safety switch. Yeah, I have started it in gear before. I wanted to see if it would, and I thought there was some sort of prevention on that on the newer XJs. And yeah, this guy just bypassed it for whatever reason. So the only thing the bracket is still stuck on is that stud on the bottom of the master cylinder. So probably has something to do with me hammering it down. You know, I'm sure it didn't do anything good. So you know what they say, if a hammer doesn't work. Okay. Huh, would you look at that? With a bigger hammer, that sucker popped right out of there. Oh. Yeah, the whole thing came. Okay, cool. Okay. You gonna let go yet? You gonna come out now? Unless, am I still missing another bolt somewhere? Oh. 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 God. I know what I gotta do after this video. Is go to the eye doctor, because I clearly can't see anything. Okay, what are we stuck on today?
Excuse me, youngster. Do you know where my bike went?
What?
Do you know where my bike went?
Is it not in the garage? Okay. Yeah. Let's get out. Apparently, you gotta fully remove the master cylinder and brake booster. Something doesn't look right anymore. Oh, come on, come on. You know you wanna. Let's go. God. Wait, can that even fit in between the... Wait. How do people actually get these out? So I think why this is being such a pain for me is because this thing's got anti-lock brakes. So the module is in the way of getting the booster out. I'm gonna have to break some of these lines to get this out of here. Now I know it's the master cylinder that's causing the problem. It's getting stuck on the little pivot thingy that this, yeah. Is there another one? Jeez. Under the wires. There's one more bolt. I'm assuming that's the last one that holds this module in here. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. That bolt. And the nut is spinning on the back. Alright. Let's do this. Come on now. I'm gonna get that sucker out of there. Oh, come on. Just break. Oh, it's... Oh, come on now. That sucker right there. That is the toughest bolt I have ever seen. Alright. Okay, yeah, came right out of there. Alright, come on now. electrical connector. Can I get those wires off? That should give me plenty of slack though. Oh, should get out. Come on. Oh, it's probably stuck on something on the inside. I don't know if it was or not, but okay. Probably was. Oh my god. Yeah, here's what this part of the firewall looks like, in case anybody was curious. Yeah, while I was messing around with the pedals, this thing fell off at some point. I don't remember where this goes, but this is the brake pedal switch. Please tell me I can get these out now. They're binding against the steering shaft and this big electrical mess over here. What are we still stuck on? Come on. This is the wires that go from the engine bay to in here. It's stuck on that harness. Hooked on it. Oh my god. Okay, here's the oh wait, yeah, you can't see anything because it took me so damn long to get that out. It decided to not be day anymore. So the manual's transmission wiring harness is the exact same as the automatics, except it's just missing all of the automatic stuff. So we don't have connectors for the NSS or the shift solenoids. We just have the O2 sensor, the speedometer, the transfer case switch, and the reverse light. So this is the only difference right here. I'm going to take this connector off of here. I'm just going to cut it like right up here so that I can splice wires into that so I can have reverse lights. So if you don't have a donor vehicle with the donor reverse lights connector, Rock Auto actually still sells these. So you can just order one from there. They're like $4. Unfortunately, although it looks the same, it is not the same as the connector for the four-wheel drive indicator. So you do need a specific connector for this. But yeah, like I said, Rock Auto's got them. On that note, that finishes everything I needed off of here. So I commend you, Lettuce Jeep. Thank you for your contribution to the Jeep community. Someday I'll get to do this manual swap. Not sure when I'm going to have time to do that, but I got a script to write. I got documents to make. There's a lot of work that goes into something like this. But for now, the Lettuce Jeep has done all it can. I'll say goodbye to it again. So this is going to go to a junkyard where it will live out the rest of its days. There's still a handful of usable parts on here I'm sure somebody could use. The one thing I didn't want to do is send it to a scrapper to just see one destroyed. I don't know, heartbreaking. Here I go again, rambling about something. So this is what we're left with. Basically all the interior stuff is back here. I've decided to leave the gauge cluster in it because honestly I don't need it. I already have like 3 gauge clusters just sitting in my closet. Somebody else will find it and discover it has 316,000 miles on it. All of the stuff that came out of it is going to go in here. I'm going to manual swap this thing. No matter how hard that may be, it's going to happen. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one.